Okay, I'll give a very brief introduction about Verkle tries. It's an application of cool cryptography, solving a problem, a real problem that is currently in Ethereum, which is the problem that the state is growing much faster than hardware is growing, or the needs for hardware becomes we need much bigger hardware. To give you an example, today the state in Ethereum is around 1.3 terabytes. We can easily see it going up to 100 if we just let it keep on going. And then that will be more and more restrictive in terms of the hardware that a node might need to use, and it might become really expensive to be running an Ethereum node just because of the hardware. So one proposed solution is the idea of shrinking the state and making Ethereum stateless. And it's part of this roadmap for Ethereum called the stateless, like the stateless, let's call it the statelessness, the stateless Ethereum roadmap. And this should even enable eventually the idea of the single slot finality for Ethereum. So this is really cool stuff, and really like this is the research, the current research in Ethereum is working towards that. Now, statelessness has two definitions. We can have a very strong statelessness, which comes from a blockchain like Mina, for example, where we know nothing about. We just generate the proof of the state transition, and we just pass proofs around without everything that comes inside. But the chain is correct, right? Like it's ZK proved 100% guaranteed. Ethereum doesn't want to do that. They want to do a weak statelessness, which allows the prover to do a bit more work, but the verifiers to do much less when the validators are validating the blocks. Eventually, to be able to do it like in a small period of time, such that we're just passing these proofs and we can get finality immediately. So I'll talk a little bit just about how the structure of. Okay, so something Zach said in his talk is that before you design anything, you want to be looking at your data structure. Because when you figure out what you want to do with the data, then it's easy to figure out what you want to do with what kind of cryptography you want to be doing. So Ethereum uses the Merkle trees, and we have four of them for the state. We have transaction, we have receipts, we have accounts, and then we have the world state, which I think deals with blocks, if I'm not mistaken. And at the end, we have a key value on the leaves. And the main problem is that when we want to prove, inclusion, we have to always take into consideration the sister nodes of anything you're proving to go all the way up. And that's where the inefficiencies are coming, and that's where the idea of a Verkle tree comes in.
How many leaves that one?
Good point. I wanted to say, so the most efficient way to do a Merkle tree is to have two. Ethereum has 16. They call it a hexary tree. With the Verkle tree upgrade, we will have 256. So the tree becomes much wider, but like also shorter. Okay, so if we can put all the leaves that are on the same level, like this, for example, into a vector commitment, then we can represent this as as one vector, and all we have to do is then we can go directly without even this, without looking at the sister nodes. We just go to exactly we make this sort of connection directly. And the extra thing that we need to do to allow this to happen is we can add a proof here. So we have a proof here, a proof here, and a proof here. So all we need to do then is to prove let's say we have okay, so any given leaf or node has a prefix that decides its position in the tree. So and then we have the contents, which is the key and value. So we can say, for example, given a leaf 4CE, we want to prove, like, let's say it's here somewhere. Then we want to prove that if we can prove that it's in position. Sorry, I need to make this small. So E is like its position here, right? So this is like 4CE. Here, this would be 4C. This would be 4, or maybe, sorry, yeah, 4CE. Yeah, 4C4, and then we have a root. So the last one here, 4CE, is position E, and it's the child of 4C. So this is its position is E, and it's the child of 4C. And this one is position C, and the child of 4. And this is 4C, and then 4 is position 4, and is a child of the root. So if we can prove these separately, then we can have this link. So what is this? We can define this vector. So a polynomial commitment is, vector commitments are even a generalization of polynomial commitments. So the idea of a vector commitment, what we want from it here, we want to be able to always say we have a vector that we can tell the position of it and which child. So what we need to do is know a vector basically that does this. Where, let's say this is a hash of n minus 1. Sorry. So n minus 1 n. Yeah, so we want to always be able to say that this is Zi. So that Zi is in a given the position of index I, and it belongs, and it's part of this commitment. So that's the general idea behind the Verkle trees, basically. And yeah, just some quick notes about like what they're doing is they're using so we need a homomorphic polynomial commitment scheme to be able to add these efficiently. We can do it recursively, but we want something more efficient. So they focused on a homomorphic scheme. So they're using IPA for this, and it was a decision between KZG and IPA, and eventually they went with IPA for this. Yeah, basically that's just a quick introduction about Verkle tries and what's the idea behind them.